Hi, I'm Liz from Caravan Insurance. In this video we're going to show you how to remove scratches from Caravan or motorhome acrylic windows.
Each year Caravan Guard deal with numerous claims for damage to caravan and motorhome windows. Whilst cracks and stone chips need to be repaired by a specialist, scratches to acrylic windows can be easily fixed with specialist products and a little bit of elbow grease. You may have had disappointing results when trying to remove window scratches like this one. So in this video we're going to share a method that can rid scuffs, light scratches and deep marks on acrylic windows. So let's create a bad scratch. I'm using a knife to create a deep score in this window, and as you can see the scratch is quite deep. The scratch could easily have been caused by a rogue awning pole or mishap with a tree branch. Scratches like this are not uncommon, particularly when driving down tight country lanes where there might be lots of brambles or tree branches overhanging. We can remove the scratch with items easily bought from caravan dealerships, the high street or online. This method uses no specialised equipment, so let's have a look at what we will need. We will need 3 grades of wet and dry paper, a 1500, a 2000 and 2500 grit wet and dry. We'll need some rubbing compound, and in this case I'm using Fenwick's Window Wise, although I have had great results using the Mellerude products range in the past. We'll also need some microfiber cloths, a bowl of water with a small amount of washing up liquid. To begin with, cut the wet and dry into strips about 2 inches wide. Do this for all 3 grades of paper. Then dip the 1500 wet and dry paper into the water and also spread some water on the clean window. Then, working along the scratch, use light pressure from your fingertip and rub the wet and dry paper along the scratch. Keep any movement localised to the scratch. We'll be spreading our working area out as we move on to the different grades. Also remember to wash the wet and dry and keep the window well lubricated. After a couple of minutes, wipe the water off the window and check on progress. Using the 1500 grit paper again, work across the scratch. It's really important to work in straight lines and not be tempted to work in circles. That can cause scratches that are very difficult to remove. Again, after a couple of minutes, wipe the window dry and check on progress. I'm using my fingernail here to gauge the depth of the scratch, and I can see that one end is still quite deep, so I'm going to focus my efforts on that end of the scratch to even it out. The scratch should be slightly visible, but not catch a fingernail when moved across it. Once this has been achieved, it's time to move up a grade of paper and onto the 2000 grit wet and dry. Again, soak the paper and work along the scratch in straight lines. Be slightly broader with the strokes this time and make sure you cover all the scratches we created in the previous step. Wipe the window dry and change direction by working across the scratch, again using plenty of water to lubricate the window. Wipe dry and check on progress. The scratch should be barely visible and not catch a fingernail when dragged across the window. It's now time to use the final grade of wet and dry. So, using the 2500 grit paper and again keeping it wet, work in straight lines across the scratch. This time our working area needs to be even wider, so making sure that we cover all the scratches we created in the previous 2 steps. Once complete, we should not be able to see the scratch at all and have a grey dull area on the window. Now we can move on to the rubbing compound, and I'm using the Fenwick's Window Wise. I'm adding 2 small amounts of product onto the window. Working in a circular motion, rub the compound over the dull area of the window and slightly beyond to blend it in. You will hear and feel when the window starts to lose its dull appearance. Just keep rubbing until all the compound has been used up. This can take some time and require a couple of passes. In this example, I've used the Window Wise twice in exactly the same way and has taken me about 10 minutes to achieve these results. You cannot see it on camera, but the scratch is almost visible if the light shines on the window at a specific direction. If this window was on my Caravan, I'd probably have another go to remove the scratch even more, but I'm sure you'll agree that this scratch was particularly deep and it's a vast improvement from what we started with.
And there you have it. For more hints and tips, why not head on over to the Caravan Guard website, and whilst you're there, why not get a great value quote for your caravan insurance.